My name is Dylan Coker, and I'll be doing a speech on legalizing marijuana. In today's society, it is very common to hear people using illegal drugs. One of the most commonly used drugs is marijuana, which is also referred to as cannabis or pot. Many questions about whether or not medical marijuana should be legal are circulating throughout America. It is normal to hear about people smoking marijuana for personal desires, such as getting high. But now people are turning to marijuana for medical reasons, such as anxiety, psychosis, and other issues. Legalizing marijuana has become a big issue, but it should not be legal because it can be harmful to the human body. It is addictive and has a negative effect on the lives of young people. During 1972, marijuana was listed under Schedule 1 of the Controlled Substances Act by Congress. Members of Congress decided that the drug did not have any reason to be used for health purposes. Even though it is listed as a Schedule 1 drug, 21 states have already authorized the substance for medical purposes. Also, countries like Mexico and the Netherlands are starting to accept marijuana. Those who oppose medical marijuana say that it does not have FDA confirmation, and there are plenty of lawful substances that make the use for medical marijuana irrelevant. Medical marijuana should not be legalized because it is very harmful to the human body. There are many different reasons explaining why marijuana can be a danger to a person's health. It can affect people who have a background of unsteady heart conditions, psychosis, and respiratory problems. Marijuana can also have a negative impact on the brain. Marijuana overstimulates the part of the brain which helps it grow properly. Some results to overstimulation are damaged coordination, changes in mood, and the inability to think correctly. Just like smoked tobacco, marijuana also aggravates the respiratory system. People who smoke marijuana have a greater chance of producing respiratory infections. After someone has smoked the drug, it causes his or her heart rate to increase 20 to 100%. It is also found that people who use marijuana have greater risk of having a heart attack within 60 minutes of smoking the substance. Using marijuana excessively can cause the user to become paranoid and experience hallucinations. According to the studies, the drug can cause psychotic problems later in life. Also, marijuana damages motor skills. It is a risk for people participating with marijuana driving because it doubles their chance of being involved in an automobile accident. Some say if it is legalized, medical marijuana has some benefits. It is known to alleviate pain, help with spasticity, seizures, anorexia, anxiety, and nausea. It can also help cancer and other things such as AIDS. Medical marijuana may produce beneficial results for some health conditions, but it will lead to worsening their conditions later. It is better to use a legal drug that will not cause further problems instead of turning to a drug that will. In my opinion, I believe that it is something we should not legalize, mainly because it puts a bad reputation on communities and towns, such as where I live. We call our community Barano. We had a couple people that got caught in a drug bust, and now every time, if you're outside of Barano, like if I'm in Lake City and I'm talking to a man at McDonald's about moving to Barano, he says there's nothing but a bunch of drug heads, mainly because that's all he hears about. And just that one drug bust, that one thing about marijuana, it ruins everybody's reputation. It makes it seem like a bad place when really it's not a bad place. Other questions have been, what's the difference with smoking a cigarette or smoking marijuana? The main difference, I would say, is one is a little bit more extreme. And if there's two people driving on the road and they get in a wreck, if one person in this car is smoking a cigarette and one person in this car is smoking marijuana, the one smoking marijuana is most likely going to be at fault because he's high or such as. And that's it for. I hope I